Okay, here we are with another episode of the Slack Doctors. I am Dr. Chip.
I'm Dr. Bob.
And I am a Reverend Jim.
Right, and I got to say, with the glasses on, you really look like Reverend Jim.
Reverend Jim, yes.
from Uganda or wherever
they helped me see.
Where do they drink the Kool-Aid? You look like
the guy the preacher that brought all those people to the island and then murdered them. Yeah, I just sort of got a little bit of that going on.
It was a country, but yeah, you get
like
that look going. You got ready
Guyana
with the Kool-Aid.
Wow, that's cool.
Anyway,
I mean, you know,
we're fresh off the gay wedding tour.
Yeah, what a way to start the show with a mass suicide.
Right.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
And
YouTube loves it when we start with a topic like this.
Yeah,
right? I'll bet. But we just played my landlord's wedding Saturday, which was interesting. That was we somehow got out of that with our manliness intact, with our virginity intact. They promised us naked guys in the pool too, but I didn't see a one.
Chip, you were funky, man. I hadn't realized that I had not until we were standing there that you and I had played together in a band in the 90s. And it was the early 90s, and you were over there. I think it was during Miss You or something. You were like, I just didn't.
I've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Done it before.
You don't come across as a funky dude.
Yeah, well, I mostly tell you the truth. I wish I got an opportunity to play more funk. Yeah. I've always been, like punk and pop and rock and stuff like that. I'd love to do like a frickin' put on the afro wigs and the platform shoes and do that kind of stuff. It'd be fun. I'd love to do that kind of stuff. Cut the cake, pick up the pieces, all that stuff. That'd be great.
Now we have a plan.
There we go. It was an interesting gig because I could have swore. All right, now I would have swore you at least knew those guys, if not played with them. And I would have put money on the fact that Jamie and Rob had played together.
Oh, they didn't know each other?
No.
Oh.
Apparently not. Well, I mean, they knew each other, but they'd never played before. Yeah. I thought they were in a band together.
I didn't. I could
have swore, but
no. But you know something, though? And I hate being the guy in the band who goes, all right, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. But there was nobody else doing it.
Well, not only that, you got all the requests.
Yeah, that's true.
Which was such a shit show. So my landlord asked me for his. Well, they're like, well, can we get the band's set list? And I'm like, well, first of all, we're not really a band, we don't. Yeah. So I'm like, so the best I could do is give him his set list, which is like 200, 300 songs of dueling piano tunes or whatever. So the morning of the wedding, of the gig, I see a piece of paper shoved through my cat door, which is 49 songs of requests. Yeah,
wow.
I know. We're only there from 1 to 5, and he gave us literally 4.5 hours of music to play. I was like, well, that's not going to happen.
And it was like,
I'm assuming this all took place at the homestead there, or did you guys did they rented a place somewhere else?
What's that?
All took place there by the tiki hut and on the homestead.
No. This was at some guy's house out in Wellington, as a matter of fact. Which, God, it's stuff like that reminds me why I hate doing this stuff. I mean, just that little bit of PA, setting all that stuff up, dragging it out there, setting it up, tearing it down, bringing it home. By the time I was done, I was like, God, I'm never doing this again. Yeah. Never. It's just not worth it, man. And I didn't even get paid, so it was.
You didn't?
No, I gave you guys all the money.
Oh.
That's why I kept telling you guys, look, they're only paying $800. They're getting exactly what they deserve. I mean, it's not like they're shelling out a bunch of money for a good band. They're getting a throw-together band. That's what they paid for.
Well, I mean, as far as I thought, I mean, everybody up there was very professional. You know what I mean?
They loved us. They loved us. Just this morning, he came out and like, oh, you guys were great. And I tried to explain to Jim, the landlord, I was like, it probably would have been better minus all the requests. If you'd have just let us do our thing, it probably would have been a lot better.
It was sort of like, what are we gonna? It's got to be Mustang Sally. You know what I mean? Because we all know it. Yeah. It's got to be Brown Eyed Girl. And
Well, there are some songs on there I was surprised we didn't play, like that Beatles tune. I figured everybody would know that. "Sar Standing There." I'm like,
oh yeah.
I can't believe we didn't do that. I was like, everybody's got to know that, right? I don't know, but we never did play that song. But I mean, how many songs do you think we played? Like maybe 20. If that, not even. And they got hit like 49 on the list. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. That's just insane.
So these are the guys that live at the end? I thought they had been married for some time already.
No. Obviously I asked them, even though I knew the answer, of like, well, why are you guys even bothering to get married? And it's like, well, because the guy's 85. And
was he really?
Yeah, the old guy's 85. Yeah, the trophy husband is probably in his 50s, 60s, something like that, maybe about my age. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's so that he can get his name on everything. So when the husband dies, the other husband inherits everything.
Yeah, I tell you though, I mean, what a friendly group.
Oh,
The people were. I mean, I was not. I wouldn't say like they weren't, but they were.
Hey, they're not called gay for nothing.
They can really. Even I don't. What was the person officiating the wedding? The guy, right? I don't think he was a priest or a father or whatever. But
I thought you were officiating.
Yeah, I think I was for a while there.
I thought it was you. No, you mean the priest guy?
Yeah, was that him? Yeah, and he was doing that. He was saying, here's a prayer, and if you want to pray to that guy upstairs in the sky,
he was a very unconventional priest.
Yeah,
yes,
was he really?
Well, I think he was. I mean, dude, priest is like a legal term now. It's not. Okay. You register with the government, you can be a priest. I think. I don't know. He said, well, he actually laid out the two things that you need to be a legal wedding, and I can't remember what he said they were. Nor do I care. I'm not getting married.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I had a couple of things in the news we should talk about.
Yeah, you and I got started a little bit this morning on Facebook.
Well, yeah,
I wound up having to delete that post.
I saw that.
Though. Yeah, I just once my wife gets involved.
Well, I saw where it was going when she got in there, and I was like, I was trying to diffuse the thing with hey, look at the price of gas.
Yeah, I know, right? I just said I will leave Facebook for promoting my gigs and get out of this.
Well, that's the thing with Facebook, man. You put any kind of, and everybody's got to have their side and this side, and look, there's the two sides are both wrong.
Yeah, right.
There's no right side. They're all wrong about everything. But have you seen now that? Do you know about Syria? About the guy that's in charge of Syria now?
Magdami?
No. Close. Very close. It's actually the ex-leader of Al Qaeda and ISIS is now running Syria. And they actually just had a thing where General Petraeus, who literally tried to kill this guy for about 20 years, had to sit there and basically go, yeah, sorry we were trying to kill you for so long. Now we're buddies. It's just so surreal to watch these guys that were literally, one guy had a $10 million bounty on his head at one point. And now he's sitting down with an American general going, yeah, okay, we're all friends now. Like, what the hell?
Do you think these wars
I'm assuming
happen?
we're speaking of Ahmed Hussein al-Shara.
Oh, is that his
also
name? I have
known
no
by
idea.
and I've never heard this expression used before, his nom de guerre. Now, I've heard nom de plume for an author having a pen name, but I've never heard nom de guerre, which would literally translate to name of war. But apparently he has a different name when he's waging war, which is Abu Muhammad al-Julani. But I've never heard that expression, nom de guerre.
I've heard it before. Yeah, that's.
Didn't he play for the Knicks?
Yeah, right.
I think he's also running for mayor of New York.
Yeah.
I did want to assure Kash Patel that I'm marking myself safe from NBA gambling today. Tell Kash he can, you can stop looking out for us by, looking out for the NBA gambling and maybe do something that might have a victim or something.
Are you referring back to the dildo gambling on the colors, or do you actually mean betting on the actual games?
You didn't hear about it? No, that's funny. The young Ethan scheme, that would be hilarious. And there was one, and then we got to talk about the weather. Obviously, we've gotten bans of what's the name of the storm? Starts with Melissa. We've already had bans of Melissa last night. And dude, I'm lucky. I meant to say something to the guys that got married. I'm like, well, I guess your honeymoon in Jamaica is canceled.
Oh yeah, that was a great sounding storm we had last night.
It was insane, dude.
Just like,
it was insane.
I like when the weather gets. I'm glad it didn't happen on Saturday.
Yeah,
it got very close because we were playing in that party outdoors, and we were under a little tent.
Yeah, we dodged a bullet on that one. But yeah, man. Here's the thing. Jamaica's getting pounded right now, but they seem to think this storm that's going straight west is going to make a U-turn and start going the other way. And I don't see it. Have you guys seen the forecasted track?
I'm looking at a forecasted track right now that's got it pretty much up by Nova Scotia by Saturday, 8 a.m.
Yeah, that's insane. It's got to make a U-turn to do that. It's got to turn around and start going the exact opposite way it's going now. And I just don't know if how do they figure that's going to happen? I mean, I've seen it happen with storms, never from them predicting it. I mean, but That's just insane that they think this thing's going to make a U-turn. I mean, I hope it doesn't. If it just goes off into, the Gulf or whatever, and hopefully, well, it's not going to get any weaker in the Gulf, unfortunately, but it'll miss us anyway. But yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it making a U-turn. Anyway, that's all the stuff in the news worth mentioning.
Well, can I just then mention this? What I brought up this morning was you had what's her name? Fran Cortez. That's her real name, by the way.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, that's her real name. It's Fran. I think it's Fran.
Right.
But you had the AOC up there up there in front, like doing the speech, and like three guys behind her looked just like
3 or 4. Yeah, they're wearing
Khalid
turbans.
Sheikh, whatever.
Well, no, the thing is,
the Ayatollah. She's got 3 Ayatollahs.
You're getting your brown people mixed up.
Is that
because
racist?
those people.
Okay, sorry.
Well, that's not even racist.
Okay.
But those brown people behind her were Sikh Muslims,
is that what they were?
or
Okay.
Sikh.
Okay.
Sikh aren't even Muslims, aren't they? They're
Still,
Indians or
They
something.
are not Muslims.
Yeah,
No, they
they're
have
like
their own
Indians
thing.
or something.
Oh,
It's a relatively
okay.
modern religion,
But
not quite as modern
they're
as
not-
Mormonism
they're not
or
American.
Scientology, but yeah, they're not Muslims and they're not Hindus.
Okay, all right. Okay, well then that's
Yeah, but they're not American. They're
okay.
not.
Well, it just the look of it it was like, oh my God, they're
Well, and I would make the point to you that I make to a lot. Like, look, if New York wants to try socialism or whatever,
Yeah, let
let
them
them
do
try
it.
it.
Yeah, go
knock
ahead.
yourself out.
Whatever.
And see how it goes. Maybe if it works, but we know it's not going to work. But they've been leaning that way for a long time. That's what the Democrats want. They want the government to run everything and take care of everything. And good luck. Good luck with that. I don't trust the government to. I'm amazed. I just signed up for Social Security. I'm getting Social Security.
yeah.
I'm amazed it's still around. I was like, God, that's never going to be around by the time I get old enough to.
Right,
So-
might as well get it now before it is gone.
Absolutely. That's why I'm like, I could make twice as much as I'm making now if I wait till I'm 70. But think all the money you're going to lose doing that. And then how long is it going to go after that? And like, yeah, now I'll start taking the money right now. Start giving me my money. But you know what else I wanted to talk to you about? You wanted to talk about bands.
I love talking about music.
You do.
I love it.
And you have the perfect mentality for playing in places where you need to sell booze.
Right. That's my whole. I mean, well,
And
aside
that's-
from the fact that I enjoy booze myself, probably a little bit more than I should, but you're selling a happy feeling.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're
Yep.
selling happiness.
Yep.
You're getting these. I have had so many people over the years, and you probably have too, come up to you and go, "My life sucks, and that's the most fun I've had in the last 3 hours." You know what I mean? And then you go, "Well, you're welcome." And
Right,
maybe
right.
I'm in a real crap mood, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You're out there.
True.
And if I gotta play Sweet Caroline 15 times, I will, because that makes them do this. So,
Right. Well, I was going to say that's the difference between you and I is I don't ever want to play in a place that sells alcohol again.
Oh yeah, really.
Yeah, I'd rather, that's the whole thing. I want to start doing shows where people go there to see the music.
It's I don't know if I take myself that seriously, but maybe I should.
Well, it's not even you. It's got to be the project you're in. I mean, I'm nobody's going to be coming to see me
Right.
at any of this. I'm just a bass player. So, but I would hope to be in a project or in a group that's good enough that they would draw enough people that they would just want to see them. That not be like, oh, well, we're just going to the bar and there happens to be this band there, or that's
Right.
just at some point it's just like, look, I'm just tired of entertaining drunks. It's just at some point. There's got to be.
I will never get tired of that. Ever.
Yeah, I used to
Never.
think that way. I used to be in that place, like, and I never want to stop playing in bars and hanging out, and and a lot of the thing is I can't drink anymore, dude. Like I said, I had like 2-3 glasses of wine. I had a splitting headache on the way home, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And like I said, it could be wine or something maybe, because I can have a couple of beers and I'm all right. But
You know what that was? To kind of I don't know. Do you drink at all?
No, I don't drink at all for health reasons, but I never really enjoyed it that much when I didn't have a problem with it.
What
So,
about a little bit of weed? Do you like that?
oh yeah, he's
indeed, I would say more than a little bit. Yeah.
he's probably got some right in front of him.
Is that what
I've
that
been
is?
smoking throughout the episode. I'm surprised nobody's commented on it yet.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, we're much more into the herbal medication than the alcohol.
Oh yeah,
But I used
of course.
I used to drink, I used to be able to drink anybody I knew under the table, but man, I can't drink anymore at all. man, that's like, well, like I say, a couple of beers, I'm all right. But then, I can't even drink more than like 2 beers, and then I'm like all bloated. But yeah, I mean, that's like, that's why the tribute thing or something on the condo circuit, that's really the only way I want to keep playing music.
Oh yeah, I would love to be in a band that's well rehearsed, that does like a 40-minute show. You know what I mean? And but then at the same time, you've got, could you imagine being like Rick Springfield and you have to play the same 7 songs over and over again for your whole life, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Well, what about that guy from Tommy Two-Tone having to just play Jenny, and 5 and 10 other songs that nobody ever heard or cares about?
Well, that's a choice, though. I mean, if you want to live on your laurels and not write anything else, then that's what you're going to have to do. I mean, or you could be like U2 and just keep evolving, or Green Day and just keep writing stuff, or.
Well, I mean, you're right. I'm not going to pick on Tommy Two-Tone because you know what? He has one more hit single than I do.
2 more, actually.
Does he really? Oh.
Yeah,
What's his other song?
He's got another hit. What's his other hit?
Answering Machine?
Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he had another hit.
It's
I can't remember what it was.
The only one I can think of is Jenny.
Yeah. Yeah, his other songs.
I think that
his
could
other
be
song, Star 69. Remember that? From when you used to have to, like...
Yeah. Kids, in case the kids are watching. Oh, God. I wonder if, young Ethan, do you even know what Star 69 is?
Is anybody familiar with that? Star 69? Oh, he does.
Of course I know his Star.
Oh, okay. There's...
So I just looked up Tommy Two-Tone, and I don't recognize any of these other songs that are attributed to him.
I'm pretty sure it was just Jenny.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any more.
You guys excited about the Rush kind of reunion?
Yeah.
Even though they said they would never do it, but now they're coming back for the 50-something tour.
Well, talk about they haven't written anything new in quite a while.
Yeah. How would you not be interested in Rush? You're a bass player.
Well, because I was interested in Rush, but I mean that was 40 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's only so many times I can watch the same movie over and over again.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. But so are you listening to new music?
Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to that much music at all anymore. I mean, it's not really that prevalent. But yeah, well, I mean, actually, I do. Like, I'll pick up my bass and just squirt around YouTube and play the shit I've never heard before sometimes. And
sounds like that gig from the other night.
It's hard to find, dude. I mean, and the thing is, you can find something you've never heard before, but it seems to either fall into one of 2 categories: crap that nobody should ever hear, or something that's so good you're like, wow, why is this not a viral hit or something like that? And there doesn't seem to be much in between of like, well, AI generated stuff is obviously just the medium crap that is going to be coming out for quite a while.
Yeah, you can't even tell anymore, right? Have you listened to any of that?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I've made this point a million times. AI is just taking over for the writing teams that have been working for The Voice and The Idol and all that thing. It's not like these artists are writing any of their own songs anyway.
You're right. Yeah, Taylor. Yeah, I mean, maybe Taylor Swift comes in with a couple of chords and an idea.
Exactly.
And then 5 or 6 guys around her.
30.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, right.
She has 30 writers.
Yeah.
I mean, so, yeah, I'd explain this to Patrick
Plus the
Freitas. He's like, oh, she's a great writer. And I'm like, well, I don't, she writes maybe a line or 2, but yeah, if you got 30 people working on a song, it better be fucking good.
Even Billy Joel, I mean, the guy sits down at his piano, he crafts a tune by himself. That's the way I do it. But again, the difference between me and Billy Joel is he has 500 hit songs and I have none.
Right. And there was some new band. God, I can't remember the name of them now. But I learned about them on Joe Rogan. They were basically on the Joe Rogan podcast. No music. They didn't play any of their music the whole time. And then I saw one of their videos like on Facebook or something like that. I'm like, oh, those are those guys. And they were okay, but I didn't think they were amazing or anything like that. They were pretty cool. They had like kind of a throwback vibe. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot new musically going on nowadays. I mean, there's always Oliver Anthony Oliver. Which way does it go?
Oh, it's Oliver Anthony.
Oliver Anthony. He's got a new song out apparently, but I mean he's the only thing that's and he's debatably not anything really new. He's not doing anything new other than just old country hillbilly songs. It's just the authenticity of it.
Yeah.
Although there's that new guy, Youngblood. I wanted to talk about this guy. You know who that is?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I should, though. I should know all of this, but I don't.
Well, I didn't know who he was either until I saw him on Bill Maher. And it's this dude, he's basically Billy Idol all over again.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he's actually been on stage with Billy Idol, like right next to him, singing White Wedding or some shit. Or no, they did, he was on, I think he came out for that Ozzy tribute. Did you watch that? There was some kind of tribute for Ozzy.
No, I don't think I caught that one
But
either.
I didn't catch it either. But I think he came out and sang with Billy Idol on that, or something like that. But anyway, it's a young, stupid kid, and he's just like this. I don't even know how talented he is, but he's clearly a rock star.
Right.
He plays the part of almost as good as that guy. What was the movie with the rock star, with the English movie? You know what I'm talking about? Johnny Rotten.
Oh, right. Okay. No.
Well, that's the guy in the movie's name, I think. What is that movie I'm thinking of? The English movie? It's
Spinal Tap.
It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Is it?
I can't remember. Anyway, this guy is kind of like that guy, like brought to life, just like this rock and roller. I'm a rock and roller English guy. But yeah, I have no idea if he's done anything original or any of that kind of stuff. But he's certainly got the look and the style. But I don't know. Like, if you were to write a song, what kind of song would you even write nowadays? I mean, I know I'd write a protest song, but that's always been, that's punk basically in a nutshell, is protest songs.
I wrote a bunch of
The
songs.
movie you're thinking of is Rock and Rolla. All one word, 2008.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That is the name of the movie. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How cool is it to have that computer right in front of you with all that information?
Right?
Yeah, it's surprising it took us this long to do it.
Right?
Hey, what's that there? Oh, anyway. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I had to learn like a bunch of songs by that Chapel Roan girl. You know what I'm talking about?
Can they even hear you that far away from the mic? You might want to
I
just
am
move
very
it.
loud.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, let us know if you can hear.
So, I don't. I don't want the microphone to take away the aesthetic.
The
beauty
Reverend
of my
Jim
face.
look.
Yeah, and I had to learn a bunch of her
Come
songs.
get
And I
your
thought we'd
toy.
end up playing a couple of them the other night because all the songs. This is what every new song has in common: 3 or 4 chords, nothing else.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you always say 4 chords or whatever, but 3 chords that repeat. Every just 3 chords that repeat. No change. Just the same 3 over and over again, and then you go and you learn something like Bohemian Rhapsody or anything by the band Queen, and your brain explodes because there's chords on top of chords.
Well, how are you going to play Bohemian Rhapsody with a looper?
Yeah, you can't. You can't. No, you're right. With a little loop machine, but you can certainly play "Party in the USA," which is not a new song by any stretch of the imagination, but it's pretty much the way everything's going.
Well, I mean, it's been like that for a long time, though. There's those guys that do the musical act where they sit there and they play the 4 chords and sing like 50 songs all over the same 4 chords. You know,
The "Don't Stop Believing" chords.
Yeah. It's just like there's so many songs that are just basically derived from the same exact chord structure. Which, what are you going to do? There's only so many. Oh, that's something I wanted to talk about. Who decided there's 8 notes in a scale?
I think those are the Gregorians. You can look that up. The ones that came up with the chants.
Right. But there are other scales with more notes, right?
Yeah. I think that's just the easiest way to. I don't even know who invented the piano. I should know that, but
I think the piano started as something else first, and then turned into a piano. But my point being, from high C to low C.
Yeah.
There's infinite amount of tones.
Yeah.
There's not like 8 tones or 14 or whatever if you split them up into sharps and flats. There's an infinite amount of tones in there.
Yeah, there's African music, I think, has a whole, like, there's all the, and plus how often do we bend notes, or slide up into singing something, or guitar players are bending those notes all over. So, there's all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, also, what was this guy,
I used to play one of those.
Trombone.
Trombone, there it is. Why can't I remember the word trombone?
Not to be confused with the rusty trombone.
Right.
Yeah, but I always just try, and then of course there's the debate of whether to play in 440 as opposed to down a half step, which the scientific reasons for that, right?
Well, I think as a guy who plays both piano and guitar, you can move your piano, you can play anything anywhere on the piano. But if you're a guitar player, you're relying so often on those open notes. As a bass player, you know that.
Yep.
So you need those open. If you learn a guitar solo, that's the way you learn it. And if it happens to be the guitar solo from Boston and that dude with basically no testicles singing those things, if you can drop that thing down a half step, man, that would certainly make my life a little bit easier to keep up with Brad Delp.
Well, not only that,
Rest in peace, by the way.
Down a half step is just a more naturally occurring frequency.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like if you bang on a log, that's more of the 432 or whatever frequency, and 440 is more of a forced, like man-made tone. Which, if on a guitar or bass, you can notice, like, sometimes if you're in standard, like, G will ring out really well. Then you go down a half step, and all of a sudden your F sharp is ringing really well.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, so that's the resonance of that. But, it's like you say, it's all subjective. I mean, I'm sure you could set up instruments that would resonate on different frequencies much better or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, who decided, though? I mean, isn't that what they were arguing about in that movie of Mozart with, what's his name? Weren't they arguing about stuff like that? Like, how many notes per
Who was in that?
Notes.
Who was in that movie, Mozart? Who was in that? Was that Beethoven?
Yeah. No.
I think it was. Was that a movie? What was that movie about Brahms or something?
Are you talking about the movie Amadeus?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What kind of music guy am I? Ask me any question about the Beatles. Anything.
Right. Yeah, but I think it's back in those days that they decided, this is how we're going to do it. Blah, 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 blah. You got to have 8 notes with these half notes. And then how do they decide to skip, B sharp and E sharp? Who decided that?
Well, I can speak for the piano itself. It really does lay itself out well to finding, it's not like the guitar at all, because that's everything can go anywhere over there. But the piano's very, you got the 3 keys and the 2 keys, and then everything around it, and it just repeats itself. It's probably one of the easy. I mean, that's why I play it. It's because it's the easiest, I think.
I think bass is easier.
Is it? Well, yeah, you're right. Bass is pretty easy. It's like guitar, but without that. This is, you want to talk about something that's crazy. If you play a real guitar, why is that B string a 4th? Everything else is a 5th. On bass, all 5ths. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't get to that B string on the bass guitar unless you're like one of those nuts that plays one of those multi-stringed guitars.
And I've heard of guys that do that have 6-string guitars or basses that do that with the top, instead of a top C, they'll make a top B.
Yeah, right.
Like, what?
Why?
What are you doing?
Why?
I guess because they're guitar players turned into bass players. And that's so many of them, dude. There's so many bass players that started out as guitar players and like, oh, okay, I'll just play bass or whatever. Whereas I was the exact opposite. I just started with the bass and realized I should have been a drummer.
Yeah. Well, one of the great things about... Are we losing you on all this deep music talk at all?
No, I'm actually taking advantage of that to look up some of the answers to the questions that you just brought up. And I was trying to find an interesting way to butt in and try to mention it. But as far as the formation of the 8-note scale, known as an octave, it says that it's a product of music theory and the natural physics of sound, not a single person's decision. But then it proceeds to go on and say that the 7-note system that's the basis for our modern octave can be traced back to an 11th century monk named Guido di Arezzo.
I knew there was a monk involved.
There was a monk involved.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, Gregorian stuff. Yeah, isn't one of the scales called the Gregorian scale?
Yeah. I don't know. I was that was just something that I think the Gregorian chants.
Do you know your modes and scales and all that stuff?
What's that?
The Ionian, the
I know what
Dorian,
they're called,
all
but
that kind of shit.
Sure. I mean, I did some music theory in my day.
But I mean, you don't use those terms at all ever, right? Do you use like the concepts though?
Major and minor. I mean, we play rock and roll, man. I don't really. Sometimes I get a little. Sometimes I find myself getting a little too in the weeds with the other guys who I'm playing with, and then sometimes I'm not enough, into that stuff.
I was watching some jazz thing on Facebook, like literally yesterday or something, and I'm watching these guys, and it's like they're bragging about the fact they're playing in like some 7/6 time signature, and I'm watching them play, trying to play whatever the hell they're doing, and I'm like, okay, they're doing something. It doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed to sound like, but this doesn't sound like something I'd put on to listen to.
Can I pick on? I want to pick on like Rush then for a second, because sometimes those guys get a little too into being out of in a weird time signature, and it's like, man, isn't that great? I'm like, couldn't they have made a good song?
Hey, now I've always said, hey, wait, what? You need the dance floor cleared? Hey, Slush. Play Rush right now. Nobody will ever dance to Rush. Never heard a chick go, hey, come on, let's go dance. Rush is playing.
I for a living, man, I take requests. I mean, that's what my gig is. And we always, pieces of paper out on the table, whatever you want to hear. We play it, we don't know. Yeah, that never happens. Never, ever got a request for Rush. Maybe once. From a wise guy who wanted to hear YYZ or something,
Trying to stump the band or something.
But outside of that, the best is, like, every time, I'm going off here, but every time somebody passes away, like a rock star dies or something, there's always, like, this urge to play one of their songs,
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was doing a gig, and, Eddie Money died, and we did 2 Tickets to Paradise, and then, Ozzy died, and we played Crazy Train, and I was just like, when that dude from Rush died, I was like, I feel bad for every cover band in America right now, trying to get through a little bit of Rush.
Oh, yeah, and then there's this big thing about the girl drummer. I'm like, yeah, so what? It's a girl drummer. I mean, it's just drums. Girls can play drums just as well as guys. And to tell you the truth, I mean, Neil Peart was absolutely groundbreaking, but I don't think the stuff he plays is really all that hard. I mean, I'm just a kind of a half-assed drummer, but I mean, it would take me a long time to just figure out all the exact stuff that he's doing, but it's not like I don't think he's doing any chops that are particularly hard to pull off. I mean, every once in a great while, maybe, but...
Maybe the odd fact of the being a female drummer is the fact that it's just such a male-centric band and sound. Like, I don't know a lot of females that even like Rush.
Yeah, that's a
Never
good
met
point.
a lot of chicks that are Rush fans.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a
If you
drummer...
look at a concert footage of a Rush concert, it's pretty much a sausage fest. It's dudes as far as you can see.
The chick's a drummer. I've never met a drummer that didn't love Rush. So I've never met a drummer that at least some point at rehearsal doesn't break into some kind of Rush groove or something just out of, just because they love that shit so much. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just, I just think it's silly. It's like, yeah, so what? She's a chick. So what? She can play drums. Dude, there's chick bass players that are amazing. What was that one chick? That young girl.
I don't think those broads like being called chick, by the way.
Tina Wayland, wasn't her name? The woman who was bass player for Talking Heads. She was a good bass player.
Right.
Yeah.
And Smashing Pumpkins and...
Yeah, they're okay, but that Tao Wackenfeld or something like that. This young little fucking chick, man. She can wail on the bass. She's amazing. I can't remember her name. She used to play with Jeff Beck. I can't remember, Tao something or whatever. But and there's a guy. Do you know the Snarky Puppies or something they're called? You ever heard of those guys?
Mm-mm.
Which is funny. It's a keyboard-based band. But they got this bass player. Dude, apparently, because for the longest time I thought he was a chick, but that guy's fucking amazing. But I thought he was a girl for the longest time, for at least first few years of seeing him. But he's apparently really good. He plays, and it's funny. He's got this bass where, and I guess they do this on guitars now, where the frets, instead of being straight, they're like,
they're on an angle a little bit.
No, not even that. They're like curly.
Oh,
like
I didn't
for
see
each
that.
string,
they're
like moved a little like up or back, and it's like. And the thing is, like, I mean, that like a guitar or bass, it depends on the weather, on how it gets set up and the intonation and stuff. So how do they know where to put those little wiggles on the fretboard?
I have no idea. I'd have to see that.
I used to have one of those fan fret basses that you're talking about, and those are actually kind of cool, but it was a 5-string, and I don't play 5 strings. I should have actually kept that thing, but I got
No,
rid of
a
it.
lot of people don't like it. It throws me off when I try to play because I think I'm going to go hit a G and I'm not.
Five-string,
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
everything's in the wrong spot. It's just very frustrating to play a 5-string bass like that. But I've practiced, though. I try. In fact...
Well, the thing is, you got to learn to play this stuff on a 5-string. If you learn to play on a 4-string and switch to a 5-string, you got to basically relearn everything almost. And the whole concept with the 5-string is that most guys that switch over don't really use the low notes so much, but what they do is instead of playing down near the nut, they play up at the 5th fret.
Right.
Say instead of playing the open E, they play the E on the B, and that way they can access stuff on the fretboard easier without going up and down or whatever. But you got to kind of, you got to relearn the whole way of playing if you do that almost.
So
And then you can't go back to a 4-string.
So, we were pulling songs out of our hat, out of our ass. Can I say ass? I guess I can.
Oh yeah, you say whatever you want. What
we're
are they going
pulling
to do? Demonetize us?
Yeah, and yeah, right. And so we did have that. Obviously, Sinatra's not my wheelhouse, right? Can you please tell me how bad it was?
It might have been before all the Johnny Walkers.
Maybe earlier in the night I should have done it. But yeah,
It's funny when I saw you do it, and I'm looking at it, and you're just kind of like dancing over the keyboard, not really touching any
There
notes.
weren't even notes. Yeah, I know there's chords around here somewhere. Where's my keys?
And they loved
Fly
it, though.
me to the moon. And yeah, that's why you were talking about. Well, you don't like playing parties for drunk people, and I just
No,
love
I
it,
thought
man.
that was hilarious. I
Yeah,
thought that was great.
I
But
genuinely
they loved it. They loved it, man.
I always tell the audience when I get on stage, I go, I'd rather play something that you want to hear badly than something you don't want to hear correctly.
Right,
Because I
perfect.
got like 6 Steely Dan songs that I can play on the piano that I guarantee nobody cares about. Nobody. And I spent
Right.
my life learning them. But I've never get a chance to play them on stage unless I'm playing with some other guy or it's before people show up or
So
something.
let me ask you this: how often do you get asked to play the song "Tipsy"?
That was a big one for a year.
Oh, so it's not anymore.
Yeah.
It kind of came and went.
Yeah,
Thank God.
You know what? We often you have to know the song of the day, the song of the summer, whatever it is.
Right.
And the thing is, and I learned this way back. Like take for example, you all about that bass, Remember that song, right?
Yeah.
For like 2 months. I was the coolest person on the planet because I did that song. And exactly at 2 months and 1 day, boom! It goes bad. Like fish in the fridge. It just leftovers.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God, not again. And, but everyone, what was that guy, Alan Thicke's kid,
Robin Thicke.
Yeah, Robin Thicke. That song that he had.
Yeah.
And they just don't.
Blurred Lines.
Yeah.
For like 2 months, you were the coolest dude.
Yeah.
And then right now, I don't know if it's right now anymore. It might be old, but it's Pink Pony Club was the one. That's actually a year now already.
I've never even heard of that song.
Yeah. No.
What's it called?
Pink Pony Club.
No idea.
Oh, that's huge.
No kidding.
Listen to this. All right, now somebody who's watching the show knows the song, but it gets requested. It's this Chapel Roan, her name is, and she sounds like Cyndi Lauper. She's basically Cyndi Lauper in my opinion, but the song is about her being from Tennessee and moving to Los Angeles, and she dances at this club for money, and she's apologizing to her mother about it. And it has this line in the song where it goes, I can hear my mother say, "What have you done?" And you're a pink pony girl. And mothers and daughters are singing it to each other in the audience, and I'm freaking out. It's but no, you have to check.
The meaning seems lost on them somehow.
That was the song of the year. And she's also got another one called "Hot to Go," and there's a big YMCA thing that you do with it, and. And then it's always funny to watch a middle-aged man try to sing these songs. You know what I mean? That's why that's the novelty of it. That's what I like about it.
That's true. That's true. So just to harken back just for a minute about your fish gone bad comment, I started controversy by just mentioning the fact that I went to the Publix over there on Lantana Road, bought some sushi, took it home, and had to bring it back because it was bad.
Right.
Like, smelled bad. So I made a thing, like, what the hell? Like, Publix isn't even, their sushi isn't even any good anymore, like, just a pretty negative comment about Publix. You wouldn't believe the people that come out of the woodwork defending Publix. Like it's their, like it's their family or their country or something like that. It's like, what's wrong with you people? It's just Publix. Not only that, they spent like millions of dollars to make sure that weed was never legal.
Yeah.
So why are you people sticking up for these guys? I don't get it. And I don't know if you just noticed, but apparently they begrudgingly put out a big newspaper article basically saying that we don't like it, but since there's the Second Amendment and we're in Florida now and you can open carry, we're going to have to let you bring guns into the store. So it's like, all right, well.
You're in trouble when you go to get sushi and, like, Fred is back there making it, How wrong is that? Is it too much? Is that a wrong assumption? When
Actually,
Fred's back there making the sushi?
I believe it or
Fred,
not, believe it or not, the people making the sushi at my Publix are Oriental.
Oh, are they really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But apparently they can't tell bad fish, though, so it kind of doesn't really matter.
I would even go with, Alejandro can be back there making it, but if it's Fred or Steve,
right.
How profiley is that? My gosh, I'm going straight to hell. But could you imagine going into Kingdom Buffet and the guy back there looks like your soccer coach?
Actually, I got to tell you,
it is grocery store sushi, but at least it's grocery store sushi in a state that is a peninsula, so there's enough water around. Right. I once saw sushi on offer at the Charlotte International Airport.
Right,
that was a frightening concept. You imagine eating that right before getting on a flight, just taking your chances to see what happens. No.
I know we don't really have a particular point here, but how often have you been through that Charlotte airport? Have you done that a couple?
Oh, at least 24 times.
Yeah, plenty. I mean, I have this gig that I was doing, I still do every once in a while in North Carolina, but I have to take one of the little planes from Charlotte to the others. So I have to fly into Charlotte, which is in Concourse C, which is right out in the open, and I have to run, and I have to go, it's like a mile over to E, and I'm always late. Half the time my luggage doesn't make it. You know what I mean? And I grab a piece of pizza. You know what I mean? And I'm eating it like John Travolta. And I'm just like walking around, like I feel like. And then I saw a reflection of myself. It was the most disgusting thing you've ever seen. This is on the way home. I hadn't slept yet. You know what I mean? I was still a little bit drunk from the night before.
I've also never been through that airport where at least part of it wasn't under construction.
Oh,
ever.
Yeah.
There's a constant construction and expansion there.
Yeah, same thing with Boston. I was just at Boston. It's a mess. It's crazy.
Or that turnpike that I had to drive down to get here. Jeez. Did you take the turnpike to get down?
No.
Matter
of fact, I'm taking A1A home because it's going to be freaking wall-to-wall traffic. Yeah. Where do you live now, anyway?
Same place I've been living. Oh, no.
You live in West Palm, right? You don't live up in Port St. Lucie or anything.
I forget how long ago you and I have known each other, but I lived in apartments back in the 90s. But we bought a house in 1998, and we still live there. So that's Lake Worth and the Turnpike, right over there. Florida Gardens.
Right,
I'm
Green Acres.
I'm in Lucerne Lakes in the old folks community, at which after 20 years I'm finally old enough to live. I might start hanging out at the pool. Yeah.
Yeah, over there at Mom's Kitchen having breakfast.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Did I ever have eat with you over there? I don't think I did.
No. Me and my buddy David just ate over there like a week ago, though.
We used to go there all the time. I don't know why we stopped going. I don't know.
Yeah, it's still good.
Yeah.
I think local knowledge knows. Oh, yeah, you know about Mom's Kitchen, that place out on Lake Worth Road, right?
I think I've been there.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's a bizarre, unrelated point. What's the name of that band that we saw at the Mexican restaurant that was on this show?
The Flyers.
The Flyers, right? That bass player has the same hairstylist as me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Interesting.
Had I never known, she's been talking to me about this bass player in this band called the Flyers for years. And then when I met him, it never clicked. It never, but now, Now,
so their bass player now, Austin.
I guess is he a new bass player?
He's fairly new. I mean, he's only been with them like a couple of years.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Their other one, Jordan, was with them before. He's
maybe
he's
that's
good too.
maybe that's
it
the
could
other
be
one.
him too.
It could be it either way, but it just yeah, I love
Both good
that.
kids.
Her name is Jill. She's been cutting my hair for like 20 years, and I love these like hairstylists. They're I'm gonna get in so much trouble for saying this, but she could be
like she's gonna watch this.
She could be she's gorgeous. She could be anywhere between 25 and 75 years old, and you would never know.
You
know
have
what
no
I mean?
idea.
You would never know.
Interesting.
And but and then I'm always like a sweaty, nervous wreck when she's cutting my hair. But yeah, she's cool. And you know what's funny? She knows everything about her, and I know nothing. She knows everything about me, but I know nothing about her. You know what I mean? Like zero.
Because their job is to ask you questions
Zero.
while you're sitting there.
That was a song I was about to write about her, not her, but the hairdresser. She knows every detail of your life.
Yeah, of course.
And she happened to mention something about not being married, and it was the first time it ever struck me that she may or may not have had I don't know anything about her. And anyway, that just kind of, I was going to write a song about that.
Well, the thing is, when you're cutting somebody's hair, you can't just do it in silence.
Yeah.
So you got to build some kind of way of communicating, taking up the silence.
Right.
So I think everybody, the haircut is secondary to the interview process.
Right.
What they're doing is they're just interviewing you. The same thing with it. Same thing when I get my haircut. You sit down, they start asking you questions, and you start answering questions before you know it, you're done.
Dude,
I
go in with material. You know what I mean?
It's not common for them to just mutter under their breath angrily while they cut your hair? That's not what everybody gets?
I actually brought more material to get my haircut than I brought in for this show.
As you should.
Well, the stakes are higher, so I can see
true.
it.
Yeah, that's true. The stakes are much higher.
Yeah.
Much higher.
Poor ladies.
Did you ever have, like when you were a kid, like the guy that didn't want you to move your head anymore, so he clipped your ears with a clipper?
No, that's a different...
Oh, my God. One guy did that to me once. They're like, put your head like this, and of course you just slowly, finally fucking clips it. I'm like, God damn, dude, what the hell? Sadistic mothers.
Yeah.
I
would imagine
that's back when guys with crew cuts used to cut hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like nowadays where it's touchy-feely. Although I need a haircut bad. I've been meaning to call my lady. But
you still got some pretty good coverage there, Chip. Though.
Yeah. It's getting back there. As a matter of fact, I'm doing the STP thing now. I'm going to have to slick it back so I look like that guy.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. All I know is, I'm Homer Simpson up here nowadays.
You got the Reverend Jim thing going pretty good there.
Yeah, I'm working on a new look.
Matter of fact, you could just...
I don't even ever wear jewelry.
All you need is a picture of Kool-Aid, and you got a Halloween costume right there.
Well, I got this coffee mug with somebody's kid's face on it. It's
I
empty,
just
by
saw
the way.
a picture the other day of a Halloween meme. Some dad gave his kid a Mr. Burns haircut. This is like a 10-year-old boy with the complete full-on bald friar tuck thing going on. It's just diabolical.
Right.
His mother's going to kill the father. It'll grow back, but still, it's pretty rough.
I've actually seen there's this thing where some kids actually go out and get that. Like, purposely get that haircut. I don't know, it's like a very
lose
small...
a bet kind of haircut?
Yeah, like the Mr. Burns. And they're like these, I guess they're like rich white kids from somewhere that it's just like a cool thing for them to do or something. It looks ridiculous. But even
Their
think about
lives
it.
are so well, going so well, they have to introduce a little chaos on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, think about it. If you get sick of it, all you got to do is shave the rest of it off. And it's when you're young, it's all going to grow back anyway.
I don't think I can go bald like that. You know what I mean?
Like shave your whole head?
Yeah, I don't. I'd be interested in giving it a shot, but I don't. I mean, look at it, it's too. I'm too melony. I get you gotta have like one of them. You gotta have like a strong chin, and strong gin. That was some pretty strong gin. You gotta have a strong chin, and you gotta be really in order to pull off that. But short.
Right, and you don't know if you've got a good-looking noggin or not until you actually shave it off. Whether you've got the little hot dog sausage roll on the back or whatever. Some bald heads don't look good, and some do.
Yeah. You got it going on over there. Can I tell you that? The beard, the hair.
Well, I still got a 6 head going on now, so eventually there is definitely baldness in my future.
About his
But
forehead.
I like rocking the beard.
Yeah. It's a look, I guess.
I did shave my head once, and that was in the year 2000. And actually, before I shaved my head, I had a mohawk.
Did you really?
Yeah, for Halloween. I did for like a couple of days, and then I shaved that off. But dude, I couldn't shave my head. I had to have I was living with my buddy Mike Skierman at the time, who was bald and shaved his head, and I had to have him come and shave my head because I couldn't do it. And not only that, it was painful as hell. It did not feel good at all. I was like, "You do this every day?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's crazy."
That is the most made-up sounding name I've ever heard. Mike Skiermount.
Skiermont, yeah.
Is that what is it?
Yeah, Mike Skiermont. Yeah, that's his name. This is Billy's problem.
Just sounds like one of Kramer's friends, you know? Yeah. he eats horse all the time.
Michael Skiermont. Yeah, no, he was Billy's problem for years.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, so I live on... Oh, we already covered that. Okay. So where were we now?
Green
Acres. 50-minute mark. Are we doing 2 hours today? Because I got to...
No, we're not doing that. We're doing about another 10, 15 minutes. About another 10, 15 minutes, yeah.
Okay, all right. I just like to, it's like everything in my life, gigs, they're all like an airplane ride. You got the first year, you're taxiing, you're waiting to get off the ground. Then you're in the air, the cart comes around, you know what I mean? Everybody's,
before
you
we
have a
go
little something to eat, something to drink, and then you're landing. And then, you let everybody know, hey, man, we're landing,
How much was it to load off your mind at that gig Saturday when I walked up and gave you your money, like right at the beginning?
It really, it was, it was, I took it, I shoved it in my pocket. I didn't even look at it.
Right. But at least you know it's done. You got your money. You don't have to worry about that.
It's always great. I always hate chasing around cash.
Exactly, man.
But the truth of the matter is, I took it. I guess I did have a couple of, those were pretty stiff. And I don't drink scotch, ever. So I had a couple of scotches, and I apologize for being a little loose during Fly Me to the Moon.
You were fine.
But I took that pile. I just threw it. I couldn't find it this morning. It's like 2 days ago. I'm all over my house going, has anybody seen a roll, like a wad of cash?
I gave you a little more, too, since you got the brunt of the request list and shit.
We never discussed money, and I got to be honest with you, money is definitely important because you have to make a living, But for me, why am I here? Why am I hanging out with you guys? Because it's fun.
You're not getting paid for this.
I'm not getting paid for this. I don't care, but... Whatever.
Don't worry, none of us are.
Yeah, right.
And actually, by the way, I sent you a thank you email for the gig.
Oh, really?
I did, but I realized the next day that I had sent it to somebody else.
I was going to say, I didn't get it.
To some piano girl named Casey. Hey, thanks for the gig. That was awesome.
She's probably there going, okay, whatever you say, buddy.
Hey, man, I appreciate the gig. I always try to tell people thank you when I get work. You know what I mean? A lot of guys don't. A lot of guys are begrudging.
Well, here's the whole story of that. I called Jamie, and he's got a band, so I was pretty much like, your band does the gig, and I just play bass. Leave your bass player at home. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, we're in the Keys, but yeah, maybe I could drive back and do it. All right, yeah, that sounds great. Well, Laz isn't going to be able to do it, which is a guitar player. So I'm like, that's all right. We can just do it with you and me and a drummer or whatever. And they were the landlords were like, you got a keyboard player, right? And I'm like, well, we don't, but I can find one. Hold on. So I hooked you up, and then he wanted to bring this other drummer, this guy I forget his name, but it was not that guy Rob. And this other drummer's not a horrible drummer, but just not the guy for the gig.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's just certain guys like, all right, this guy would be good for that gig. This guy would be good. That guy would not be good for that gig for several reasons. He's one of those guys. Like I played with those guys at Key Lime down the street from my house, just sitting in with them. Their bass player was doing something else. And the manager at the beginning of the set, or at the beginning of the night, comes up and says, all right, guys, listen, I know it's your first time playing here. You can see we're on the water. There's houses, and so just try to not too loud. By the end of the night, this drummer's just beating the shit out of his drums so loud, taking solos, smashing them. Like, what are you doing,
dude?
I know.
That guy Rob was great, man. I'd never worked
Rob
with him
Stevenson
before.
is one of the best. He's one of the best, man. And we didn't even let him sing. The guy sings his ass
Does he
off.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
I would have loved to. I felt like I had the burden of doing all the harmonies or whatever.
Well, I was funny because I was sitting there when Jamie wasn't doing it and he's trying to sing. And I was like, get out of the way. Get out of the mic.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did. You sang
like
All-Star. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that's right.
No, but I was trying to sing some of the harmonies to some of the songs because Jamie wasn't doing it, but he was in the way of the mic. I didn't have another mic set up.
I didn't have any idea what I was getting into because Chip,
nobody did.
Because Chip,
that's the beauty of it.
you're like not an informational guy.
I answered every question you asked.
You're like, hey Chip, is there anything I should know for this gig? Nah. Don't worry about it. Just show up. Okay, great. And then I show up, and there's this freaking Declaration of Independence full of songs that I have to play.
They sprung that shit on me, too. Listen, I'm reading the thing. First of all, I'm going like, I don't know any of these songs. I'm going to be sitting there doing nothing if this is what they want to hear. I don't know any of this stuff.
I was like, oh, boy. And I felt, I didn't want to keep throwing stuff at everybody.
Well, like I told them, I mean, it would have been better if they had just let us do our thing. But, we went down the list and did we could.
Like I always said, I'm always happier when they're. I'm only up there for them. I had a conversation with my cousin Ricky, who's an athlete, and he was like, when I'm on the field, I'm playing for me. He goes, when you're on stage, you're playing for them. There's a big difference. And I go, yeah, I guess you're right, because there's really no reason for me to be up there if nobody's enjoying it. And the better part of the 90s was spent sitting at my acoustic guitar next to the big screen TV at RJ Gators or whatever, or Trees Wings, just strumming away at Son of a Sailor to nobody giving a two hoots, And it was a way to make money.
Trees Wings and
yeah. Is there still a Trees Wings around here?
No, I don't think there are anymore. Oh, wait a minute. If there are, I don't know where.
Boston's on the beach, Waterway Cafe. Those were my those are my hangs, man. And now nobody even knows who I am in any of those places. So thank you again for getting me into that gig, and maybe we should do more, man.
Well.
You don't want to do gigs with me anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody ever wants to do a second gig with me.
No, it's not you. It's the gig itself. It's the nature of the gig that I don't really want to do.
How could that be irritating to you?
Because it's a pain in the ass. I don't know.
The setting up.
Yeah, the setting up. The gear. The whole thing is just, look, I'm at the point.
Everybody does one gig with me, and then they go, okay, that's it.
No, it's not that. Here's the thing. For my gigs now on, first of all, it's got to pay enough to where I can pay somebody to move all my shit. I'm getting too old to fucking lug that shit around anymore. All right, so there's that. And then I want to be able to just walk in, do the gig, put my fucking bass down, go maybe talk to the crowd, or go to a green room and not talk to the crowd if I want to. Whatever it is, I'm just so sick of just this whole bar thing where it's just like you got to be on all the time.
I am so addicted to the adulation of others. I am literally... I love
Well, at least you're self-aware. I mean,
Of course I am. I've always been. Before I knew how to play music, I told jokes, and I still tell jokes. But I just love being in front of a bunch of people, being the funny one, getting the attention.
Right.
Does that make me a narcissist or something?
Maybe. Okay. I don't know. What do you think? Is that definition of narcissist?
No, that's I think if you want to be a good performer, that's almost a requirement.
You got to have some fun with it.
Well, I would say that narcissism is actually kind of required to be a good performer at some level. I mean, any decent front guy I've known has been a major narcissist.
I don't like to be that much into myself.
But I mean, truthfully, like guys that get up in front of a band and really good front guys. They're narcissists. They're not. They're not normal people. They're just not.
There's video of me somewhere doing a really good. I used to when I worked at this one club in Savannah called Savannah Smiles, and they would always do "Jump" by Van Halen, and I'd get out and I would just full on David Lee Roth. You know what I mean? Just the whole shoulders.
That is the example I was going to bring up. I want to see David Lee Roth not secretly an introvert.
Wide open. Yeah.
I want to see it. I want to see the jump split.
Those are always comedic. They weren't good. They weren't real. But I'd always reach out. There's pictures of me all over. I'd just reach out in the front row, grab whatever girl was getting into it, bring them up on stage, and there's pictures of me all over doing it. But you can't do it unless the audience is there with you.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if you try to do it when they're not into you, then I just kind of hide in the background and just be the guy. But
I mean, here's the thing. At least when you're doing the piano thing, the dueling piano thing, at least you are the center of attention.
Right.
It's not like, I mean, you play like Rum Shack. You'd be playing what you thought is the greatest song in the world. People start applauding like crazy, and you realize, oh, somebody made a touchdown.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Sure.
and nobody gives a shit. At least at least in your setting, you're the center of attention, or people paying attention to you.
I used to end my songs at every good, when I was the acoustic guy in the 90s, I would watch the game and end my songs right at a good play. Yeah, it didn't matter. I'd be right in the middle of Brown-Eyed Girl. If that guy made the touchdown, the song's over.
There you go. No more positive reinforcement than that, is there?
It's funny.
That's great.
It's all cool, though.
All right, well, that sounds like a perfect way to end the show.
Yeah.
With
me and
good
Penny
play.
World, I love playing music in front of people and entertaining them.
Good play, John. Reverend Jim ended the song. I'm spiking the ball. Here we go.
Well,
right,
like, comment, subscribe, share, and you want to give out the number?
Sure. Anybody ever call? Anybody calling it all yet?
Nope, not a one time.
All right,
Other than young Ethan.
904-549-9024, right?
That is correct.
That's it. So yeah, you should call in our phone number and tell us some jokes or something that we can play on the show.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. I would love that.
We're setting up the phone number for when we eventually start live streaming these.
Oh,
so
but we're not.
live.
This is not going to air.
Well, like a week.
Oh, okay, because I have a gig in Boca coming up, and
tonight?
No, Wednesday.
Yeah, and that's not going to be up by Wednesday. Nah.
Well,
maybe next Wednesday.
If you're watching this. It was good. It was great. You missed it.
As a matter of fact, well, it's funny. The next time we're taping is actually going to be on Halloween, and we're going to dress up a little bit for Halloween, but it ain't going to show on. So it'll be a week after Halloween. We'll have our Halloween show, but
it's all good, man.
So we got that look forward. Next show will be in disguise. I'm gonna dress up as Alex Jones. That's some of them interdimensional demons in the studio in the Boca bunker. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.